Hello viewers, my name is Adam.
And I'm Aaron.
This is Sticky Media Productions. Full disclosure here, we were not going to watch this film.
Not at all. I think there was a lot of, back and forth about whether or not this was going to be we was even going to even do this.
Like, the marketing for this movie was so...
It was horrendous.
Generic to the point that, like, I'm surprised that it's getting the rave reviews that it's getting critically wise.
Which is ultimately the main reason why we decided to go ahead and do this in the first place.
Because, you know what? Despite our initial reactions for what we saw...
We always want to give, something a chance.
Yes, because you can't judge a book by its cover all the time.
No.
But here we are reviewing The Invisible Man.
Now, I think the first thing that we want to point out is, was it nearly as bad as we had originally thought it was going to be?
No.
No, not at all.
There are certainly a lot of elements to this film that does work praising.
The production value, for one, is definitely one thing I would give this movie my hat off to.
And we're going to start from the production, and then we're going to slowly get to the reason why we'll come to the conclusion how we feel about this film.
Mm-hmm.
We have the director of this film is Leigh Whannell, a person who was mainly known for screenwriting for a lot of James Wan's previous work. And he had his directorial debut back in 2018 with Upgrade.
Now, with that film, wow,
yes.
What a step out the gate. That was well made. I enjoyed it. Miles ahead of what I originally thought that movie was going to be.
And it was all done with such a minuscule budget compared to so many films that it was still in the single millions. That's how. And the thing is, the same thing goes with this picture.
Yeah, it does a hell of a lot with so little.
We have him conveying the sense of invisibility through a cinematic lens, from the camera movement to when to show focus, something's in and out of focus or something, or the composition of a frame where it's usually set up to a point that there are multiple people supposedly in that room, but it's not. So
this movie does does such a great job at illustrating the concept of whether or not you're being watched or playing mind games with its audience and the characters that are involved in the story itself.
Mm-hmm. And this is very much an emotional story. It's very much also illustrated with the score from this film.
Definitely.
Yes.
I found myself feeling very engaged with this movie. Definitely has a distinct tone to it. Something that I didn't necessarily think a movie of this scale would have even had at the beginning.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yes. And the type of tone that this film utilizes, especially that's being hinted throughout the score, is very much of a remix from what the original Invisible Man came to be.
So this story revolves around a woman named Cecilia, who's obviously in an abusive relationship and trying to escape her husband, Adrian, who happens to be this world-renowned super genius when it comes to the technology of Oculus or optics.
Visual technology.
And so she originally thinks that she got away from him, and over the course she eventually finds out that supposedly he's dead, and she's trying to relive her life. But of course, as these horror movies usually go, it's not usually the situation, and she finds out that she's yet again running for her life. And
for the most part, this film plays like a very slow burn thriller, playing mind games with the audience and because we're going through the eyes of Cecilia.
Actually, it's in the mind games that this movie is depicting, and the way they handle the camera is where it's strongest at. I love the aspect of trying to make the audience and the characters guess whether or not something is really happening or not, and really playing up on the whole idea of an individual being invisible and things happening without you really noticing them, or noticing them, and it's like I said, it's playing on your head. That's, like I said, the strongest aspects of this film. And I wish that this film continued on those aspects.
Yes. If anything, that from what this film is portraying through the use of trying to tell somebody about invisibility is what are the different types of ways this person who can do this to somebody can affect your life.
Exactly. And there's plenty of aspects. Well, there are other aspects of it. You does start really playing on home on the paranoia game against Cecilia. And like I said, those are really strong attributes that makes that it has me liking aspects of this film. But then again, there's not enough of them.
Yes. And from here, we will discuss characters. Now, across the board, we have a cast that does a good job of what they're given, what is written, and for the most part, like,
I have no complaints. I think everybody who was in this film did their job. No one was really wasted. But it is because of the way that these actors portray the characters in this film and the way that these actors are written, anyone could have played them. So there's really no real standouts.
yes. But despite the fact that there's not really standout, just people doing a good job, most of the characters wind up actually doing the type of things that you will even do, like actually smart decisions.
Well, most make smart decisions.
We'll get to that. We're going to get to that.
Okay. I mean, I love the character, her friend, the cop James. He was a doting father, an individual, a decent cop who, I mean, let's be honest, in this particular situation, somebody was telling me that they was getting stalked by somebody who's invisible. I look at them like they're sideways, crazy. Cecilia, for an individual who's in this type of situation, handled this like a champ.
Yes, like other characters, you got the one who plays Cecilia's sister, who's playing like one of the most like very interesting takes on like a sibling relationship, and other like sibling relationship, the brother, which you know.
Oh, Adrian's brother.
Yeah,
I've seen him before. If I'm not mistaken, he played in that vampire movie called Daybreakers. He was yet again the brother of the main character in that movie. But I feel as though his character and probably the main antagonist character and Cecilia's character would have benefited if they added a little bit more character development as far as their relationship in the past.
yes. You talk about a situation in this film where the whole like, a major theme is abuse, and it's mainly was inflicted from this person by the antagonist in the film by the character of Adrian.
Yes.
Who is the titular Invisible Man.
Adrian's character has brilliant moments, or at least he has aspects that makes his character quite brilliant and very sinister at the same time.
A lot of his character comes from a lot of setup.
Yeah, but he also, I think one of the aspects that drags this film down a bit,
Actually, a lot
is because they write his character to be so as brilliant as he is given really stupid decisions.
Yes, we have probably a situation in the writing room where the first draft of it seems as though it was going to get something more in line like a good, like probably a standalone Invisible Man, like adaptation.
And then you have aspects that make it seem that it was higher up, where it's like it's kind of even Hitchcockian in a way with that voyeuristic usage of the camera and the high intensity of the thrilling aspects of the chase,
the psychological aspect of it, because it's very driving home the concept of abuse.
But then again, there's another aspect that was rolled into this, and I feel as though this is the one that actually kind of, eating up most of the importance of the role of the plot, and it's this concept of I don't want to really step on toes or try and say that's exactly what's going on, but it definitely feels that way.
Like this movie clearly has a message, and there's a movement called
the Me Too movement, and it's definitely seen in this film.
And it's a film that pretty much is driven, like it has concepts and elements that echoes that movement. But
I don't mind that message in here. I'm happy that message is in here. But I feel as though by trying to cater to that specifically for the majority of the plot, it kind of depletes the importance of it being used in this film, and the aspect that it's like that they're throwing everything at it, and that's all they want to really use.
And the thing is how this ties into the faults of the antagonist is that you set up a villain where it's totally a no-win scenario almost.
Very much so.
Almost.
And
But,
then you get
yeah.
to, then you have the, and then you write him with these stupid decisions in order to give the protagonist of this film an aspect that she can win. And I'm just sorry that because of the way you're rooting this character and the situations that you wrote the protagonist to fall into doesn't add up in the the execution of it, and it severely depletes that importance of it in the story.
There's echoes of it where it could have been a great film, but the incompetency of how the villain is written,
And the handling of that Me Too message,
it
it brings it down. I'm sorry, it
a
really
lot
does.
down to the point that, despite his creativity through the production and a all around solid cast, I have to say this movie is just okay. It's just it's one of those situations where once you start really think about the screenwriting of it all, it really depends. I'll let you know what you come up with. Write down your comments down below on what you thought about the film. Do you come to the same conclusions? We don't know.
But as always, please like, share, and subscribe, and hit that little notification bell at the bottom if you want more content. I'm Aaron,
My name is Adam.
and this has been Seeking Media Productions. See ya.